As I promised, in this video I'll be drawing the cast of Breaking Bad Pregnant and Who are you people? Yes, so we've reached 3K already and I didn't expect these numbers in my first year as a YouTube creator. I didn't have much time to prepare anything big, so here's just a silly Q&A video with comments you left me. Benji Mason asks, what is your biggest goal in life? Oh wow, starting big. To be honest, I don't know. I guess the only one that comes to mind is being happy. Wait, I know, it's cheesy, but with the times we are living in, there's really nothing I want more for me and my loved ones than to be safe and happy. I also really want to go see watching. Cozy Dross asks, why did you choose the name Finotica? Well, my name is Finn, and when I was trying to find a new username, one follower on Instagram suggested the name Finotical, since I was doing some comics featuring my sea monster OCs. That one was already used, so I just removed the last letter and boom, Finotica, which is better I think because it's only 10 characters long, so it fits as my username basically everywhere. Jember2697 asks, have you ever gone to an art school or gotten any art training, or are you self-taught? So I did, in fact, go to art school, but oh boy, that's a long story. To make it short, I think art school didn't really help me that much to improve my skills. I still consider my skills to be 70% self-taught, but that's probably because my experience was particular. I'm thinking at some point of doing a storytime video about my experience in art school, because as I said, it's a long story. Don't get me wrong, it's not all negative. Some of my fondest memories are from art school and the people I met there. But going to a public art school, let's just say that some stuff could have been better. A lot better. But I didn't pay a thing, so at least that's that. I've been considering getting into more classes and courses, but at this point in my life, there's just so many possibilities and things I want to try, and so many different paths I could go with my art. I don't really think it's the best time to commit, since I'm shifting my focus every 5 minutes. But hey, my small business seems to be growing. My YouTube is doing better every day and I even get some commissions. So I wanna see the direction this is gonna go. Maybe in a couple of years I have a clear vision of what I want. I'll have to wait and see. Hilly Tammy asks, when did you start drawing? Since I was able to hold a pencil. But that's a typical boring answer, so I'd say I started to actually take drawing more seriously when I was around 13, maybe 14. And my parents gifted me one of those old Wacom tablets that came with Clip Studio Paint included. My digital art skills from that time were, as you can imagine, not great. I mainly copied other cartoons and Pokemon drawings I found online. Unfortunately, I don't really have any detailed drawings saved from that time, because I either lost some files from my old computer, or I deleted some because I was ashamed of how bad they look. You know, those insecure teenage years. I wish I could go back in time and tell young Finn, no, don't delete your art, or you'll regret it. See, you might be ashamed of them now and think they are cringe. But in the future, you'll still find them cringe, but you'll also be a YouTuber, and that's content, baby! Yes, Reagan YT asks, what's been your favorite video to produce so far? I can't talk about that one yet because it's an upcoming collab I'm hosting, and it surely is the most ambitious thing I've ever made, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I'm just gonna say, I'm collaborating with 17 other very talented artubers for this one project, and I'm assuming you're all gonna love it. But it's not gonna be till late January, early February, so you gotta wait. Meanwhile, I'm preparing less time-consuming videos like this one, and some character design ones so I don't fully burn out. But yeah, stay tuned for that one because I can't wait to showcase all the incredible art my peers are making. And now let's answer all the questions I gathered from my Patreon Discord server, which is very cool and you should join. Soap asks, what was the first video game you've played? I've been playing video games all my life. Some of my earliest memories are from when I was a little toddler and I could use my father's computer to play those old educational games. I also remember having this orange and purple console that... I don't remember the name, but if I can find pictures, I'll put them on screen. I remember playing some Disney games like The Little Mermaid or The Lion King in it. Oh, and I also remember around this age using my dad's PlayStation to play some games and being so scared of medieval I could have nightmares about it. That was fun. I cannot remember what was the exact one I played first, but these are all the ones that come to mind when thinking of my earliest video games. What is important to remember is that I am, and always been, a gamer. Crispy Butter asks, what's the long-time goal with your art? I'm gonna be honest, now I'm not really sure. When I was a teen, I was convinced I wanted to do animation, and I even got a degree in it, as I said before. But then, I couldn't say I lost interest, but I don't really see myself working in the industry. This is not to say I couldn't want to do it eventually, or that I wouldn't like to try animating my own projects in the future. It's just that I'm in a period where I'm not certain of what I want, and I'm trying a bit of everything, studying new mediums, doing commission work, making videos, making merch. Thinking of a long-time goal could be a bit overwhelming, so I'd rather share some smaller goals for next year. Continuing growing my channel and store, attending some art market or artist alley as a vendor, and finish a portfolio project because I've been procrastinating on that one. Miss Claire asks, have you thought about other forms of content? Have I? Yes! Could I be good at it? Not so sure. I've considered doing some streaming again, but I've noticed I'm not particularly good at reacting to stuff live. I tend to focus too much on what I'm doing and forget to talk and share my thoughts. Anyone that has ever been on a call with me while working on art knows I get so focused on my work I stop talking or paying attention, which is not ideal for streams. I'm reconsidering giving it another try, though. I might get better with practice. Andros asks, what colors do you prefer to use in your artworks? Is there a color you despise to work with? I couldn't say there's a specific color, more like I find myself shifting towards warmer hues and brighter shades. And I don't think there's any specific color I don't like working with. It's all about balance and finding pleasant combinations. The ugliest color on its own can bring harmony and contrast to an illustration. Rodri Comics asks, what happened to the OC content? I kinda developed an unhealthy relationship with OC content. I couldn't redesign or do any changes without people getting upset. People acted like they knew the lore better than me, even if I was only sharing snippets of the stories. I even got people pulling screenshots of all outdated stuff I said as counter-arguments. It got to a point where everyone was expecting too much of just some projects. I started as silly doodles to have fun, and it got overwhelming real fast. I'm trying to start again with some ideas for a couple of stories I have, but I feel it takes me a lot more now to work on OC stuff. Before I could just do any doodle and be happy posting it, even if I knew I could change a lot about it, since that's how the process of designing characters is. Now I feel I cannot share anything if I'm not sure it's gonna be the full final version of it, which I'm always sure it's not gonna be. That being said, I've been dying to make some OC video content here on YouTube, but between the aforementioned problem and not knowing how to frame it in an interesting way, I'm kinda blocked. I had so much fun working with personal stories in the past, I'm dying to get that inspiration back. What could you consider to be the most important tip to a new artist? Don't rush it. I see too many beginners, especially young artists, being too impatient about learning art. They've barely started and they already want to fix never-changing art style before learning any fundamentals. And they are constantly searching on YouTube how to improve art faster. Learning art is a long process and there's no way to rush it, other than continuing drawing and studying a lot. I think this is a lesson that comes with time, and people that started later in life to draw tend to understand this better than people that just started in their teens. Trying to rush any process inevitably is gonna backfire, and when you're older, you'll be wondering why you didn't spend more time slowly learning and enjoying the process rather than trying to find shortcuts. Also, I'm gonna say this knowing fully well that no one is gonna listen, but still, if you are at least 16, don't post your art publicly on social media. I think my views on this topic have changed over the years, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or if the internet has become a way more hostile place against beginners. Validation can get very addictive. It can really mess up with your perception of your own art, and you might limit yourself to create what's popular and get paranoid of making art that's considered cringe. And let's not talk about the growing trend of bullying beginner artists. I'm not saying you shouldn't at all share your art, but perhaps limit yourself to small communities and close friends instead of having public accounts. And yes, this is all without mentioning the amount of adults preying on young artists. I have way too much stuff to say about the overall topics of minors on the internet, but that could make an entire video, and I don't want this one to get too intense. But yes, stay safe. I'm saying this because this is all stuff I wish I knew as a teenager, and now it seems the problem is only getting bigger. What is your favorite technique to use in art? So, you know I'm a digital artist, but when doing traditional art, I love doodling with pens, markers, and colored pencils. I just start grabbing materials that I want to use at the moment and mixing them with each other because I don't do traditional art for it to look good, just to have fun. These days, I really try to differentiate the art I do for work and the art I do for fun, because that's an easy to cross fine line, so keeping it as separate mediums helps me not to burn out. Tip asks, what helps you when you don't feel very motivated or good? Depends on the situation. Sometimes the best thing to do is just stop and take a break, but other times this either doesn't work or you can afford to take a break. In this case, reading art books, watching animations, or simply searching some speed paints on YouTube really helps me getting my creative juices flowing. But this is what personally works for me as an artist. In other cases, when I really don't feel like doing certain tasks that I feel more challenging, I spend a bit of time getting comfortable and setting myself in the mood for them, grabbing a soft blanket, preparing myself a hot drink, listening to ambient noises, stuff that makes you feel better. So even if a task is boring or unpleasant, you associate it with good stuff and that makes it more bearable. That's what I do every time I gotta edit the audio for these videos. Since I started making videos, my time making art has greatly decreased. That's why it's important for me to stay focused and edit, even if every inch of my body is telling me to doodle instead. So if a little treat is what helps me, then God forbids a they to get their little treat. And hey, those were all the questions! Thank you again to everyone that watches my videos. Your support means so much. And double thank you to all my patrons: Austin Graff, RCT, NetChip Art, D, Rice, Wolf Mitchell, Soapy Soapster, and Pedalbook Interactive. This channel has grown so much since it started earlier this year, and also my art skills. I've noticed such a big improvement in this period, and I can't wait to see how much more I'll improve in 2025. So yes, hope you enjoyed this little Q&A and see you in the next video!